Dear students, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How are you? I hope best for you. I Mukesh Kumar welcomes you to online Mukesh Online Academy. आपका मुकेश ऑनलाइन अकेडमी में स्वागत है. And we are doing the chapter 1 of class 10 from NCERT book. Okay, that is the chemical reactions and equations. And we have already covered this chapter into various videos. In the first part, we covered about the physical and chemical changes. Then we did about the chemical reactions and their examples. Okay. Then we did about the characteristics of the different chemical reactions, and then we did about the how to do balancing and how can we make the chemical reaction more informative. And then we did about the combination reactions. Okay. So I hope you would have seen those videos. If you have not still seen, then I have given the links into the description. Then you can go through them. That will help you to understand this video better. Okay. So now we will do about the decomposition reactions. Okay. So one usual tip. Okay. So whenever you are watching any study related video, think it like a live class. Okay. Keep in notepad and pen with you, notebook and pen with you, and start writing the key points, key formulas, equations. Okay. So this will prepare you a summary for the chapter, and slowly you will be able to prepare the summary for all the chapters. Okay. So this will help you to revise into the exams quickly. Otherwise it becomes too much to revise into the exams. Okay. So this will prepare you. This will help you to prepare for the examinations. Okay. So if you have any doubt, if you have any query, then you can write to me either into the comment, or you can write to me on the WhatsApp or email. I have given my number into the description. Okay. Or we are on the Telegram also. You can follow me on the Telegram. Okay. I have given ID into the description. Okay. And if you want to have the free notes, okay, free notes of each and every chapter, then you can also write to me on the WhatsApp or email. So we will be happy to provide you. And if you want to do the live online classes, then also you can write to me on the WhatsApp or email. We will be happy to serve you. Okay. So in this video, we will do about the decomposition reactions, different type of decomposition reactions that we will do. Okay. So I hope you will enjoy it. I hope you must be enjoying the video. Subscribe to it, like it, and share it. So now let's start the decomposition reaction. So dear students, let's start. Okay. So in the last video, we had done about the types of chemical reactions. Okay. We have combination reactions, decomposition reactions, displacement reactions, double displacement reactions, oxidation reduction, and redox reactions. So out of this, we had completed the combination reactions. Now in this video, we will do about the decomposition reactions. Okay. So now we will take these decomposition reactions. Okay. So now what is the meaning of the decomposition reactions? The decomposition means the decomposing the things, means the breakage. Okay. When a substance or a compound, okay, breaks into two or more compounds, means decompose into the two or more compounds after the reaction, then we call them decomposition reactions. Okay. So here what is actually being done? We are breaking a compound into two or more compounds. So we can simply define it that a reaction in which a single compound, means the one compound, breaks down to give two or more simpler substances, we call them decomposition reactions. Okay. Clear? Now see, suppose if we want to break something, so that means definitely some kind of energy will be required. You know, even if you break a brick, you apply your energy. So whenever the decomposition reactions takes place, we have to apply the energy, and this energy can be in the form of heat also. Okay, we can heat the substance from outside, or we can give the electricity also, means the electric energy we can provide, or we can give the some form of sunlight energy also. Okay. So we can put them into sunlight. So that means they are absorbing the energy from the sun. So these three types of energy, or in any form, we can provide the energy. Okay. So definitely when we are providing the heat, electricity or sunlight, so they are also known as the endothermic reactions. Clear? They are known as, means they are actually the endothermic reactions because we are providing them heat from the outside. Okay. See, just remember the combination reaction. In combination reactions, what did we do? We had the two substances forming one compound. Here we are having one compound forming two or more substances. So we can say them that they are the opposite of combination reactions. Okay. So we can have different type of decomposition reactions depending on the heat form of supplied. So one we can have, first is the thermal decomposition. Okay. Thermal decomposition means here we are applying the energy in the form of heat. Okay. So the heat is applied. Clear? So here we can have the different examples. Like we will take the example 1. So in this example, when we apply the heat to the limestone, okay, see this we have seen into the previous examples also. In the previous videos, I had shown you one limestone, I had shown you the heat, and I had shown you how the quicklime looks like. Okay, so when we provide the heat to the limestone, so the formula of limestone is CaCO3. Okay, this is the calcium carbonate. Okay, and when we provide the heat to the calcium carbonate, then it converts into the quicklime. This is the quicklime. Okay, and carbon dioxide gas along with is also released. So this is solid, and this is gas. Okay, so let's take the next example. See, this reaction also we have done, okay, previously, where we took the potassium chlorate, KClO3, okay, and we heated it in presence of manganese dioxide as a catalyst. Okay, and at that, and we have got the potassium chloride and we got the oxygen gas. Okay, so this is 2, and this is 3. So oxygen gas, this is basically also the laboratory method of preparing oxygen gas. Right now too much needed. Okay, so we can, in the laboratory we can prepare the oxygen gas by this method. So here what do? Basically we take a potassium chlorate and we put some manganese dioxide because it will work as a catalyst so that the reaction will become faster. That also we have studied in the previous videos. And now when we provide the heat from outside, then we get the potassium chloride, which is solid, and we get the oxygen gas along with it. Okay, so this is the example of the thermal decomposition. Now the third example, see, when we heat the ferrous sulfate crystals, see the color of the ferrous sulfate crystal is green in color. Okay, they are green in color. Okay, so when we heat the ferrous sulfate crystals, okay, then we got the ferric oxide. This is the red brown in color. Okay, along with it we get the sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide, which gives the burning sulfur smell. Okay, the smell of the burning sulfur. So these are the two observations that we will get into the laboratory. They ask you the question in the exam. So what will you observe when the ferrous sulfate crystals are heated strongly in the laboratory? So what we get? These crystals becomes red brown because of the formation of the ferric oxide, and we get the burning sulfur. The smell of the burning sulfur is basically like the rotten eggs. Okay, just we will explain the activity also for this purpose. Here we have to write the two equations. Okay, one is FeSO4 dot 7H2O. Okay, these are the ferrous sulfate crystals. Okay, these are ferrous sulfate crystals. These are the hydrated salt that we will study into the next chapter. Okay, they contain the water of crystallization. See, this is the water of crystallization. Okay, now when we heat them, so first what it will do, it will lose the water of crystallization. We will see the water vapors coming out initially. Okay, so we got now the anhydrous ferrous sulfate. Okay, this will start losing its color and will start turning into the red brown color. Okay, now when we heat these crystals strongly further, okay, then we will get the ferric oxide Fe2O3 and we will get the SO2 means sulfur dioxide and we will get the sulfur dioxide means SO3. This is the sulfur dioxide, and this is the gas is sulfur trioxide. Okay, and this is the ferric oxide which is red brown in color. Ferric oxide means iron 3 oxide, or we can say iron 3 oxide, which is red brown in color. Clear? So what are the observations that we will just we are going to do the activity? This is the activity 1.5. In this activity, we are doing, we are just taking the ferrous sulfate crystals, okay, and we are taking this in a dry test tube and we start heating it. Okay, as you can see, when we start heating it, the water vapors will coming out. Okay, and when we strongly heat, then this will start turning into the red brown, like the red brown color will start turning it. Okay, and we will see the gas coming out. This gas is sulfur dioxide and sulfur dioxide. Okay, and this is the burning smell, burning sulfur, and burning sulfur smell is like the rotten egg. Okay, so what we will observe? The sulfur dioxide. What we will observe? The ferric oxide, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. So observations we need to write. So here the observations will be, in exam they can ask you to write. First observation will be the color changes to red brown due to formation of ferric oxide. Okay, because ferric oxide is formed. And the second observation is the smell of burning sulfur. Okay, the smell of burning sulfur means the SO2 and SO3 gas is being given out, because this is just like a rotten egg smell. If you have smelled this rotten egg, so this is just like a rotten egg smell. So this is how this activity has been performed. Okay, so here it is also given the green color changes and the characteristic store order of the burning sulfur is. Okay, so this is how we will do this activity for this particular question and this for particular example, because it comes into the exam. Okay, now the next example is the lead nitrate crystals are mostly colorless. Okay, they are white crystals. Okay, so when we heat the lead nitrate crystals, or when we heat the lead nitrate, so on heating, what do we get? The lead monoxide, which is yellow in color. And if you remember the first few videos, in second video, I had shown you the lead monoxide. It is completely yellow in color, just like the color that I have given here. Okay, so lead monoxide is formed along with nitrogen dioxide. It gives a brown color fume. The nitrogen dioxide has got the brown color. The brown colored fumes will come out, along with it will give the oxygen gas. So the equation is PbNO3 whole twice. On heating, it gives the lead oxide, which is the lead monoxide, and which is yellow in color. Okay, along with it, it will give the nitrogen dioxide NO2. Okay, which gives the brown fumes. Okay, so these are the observations that we get, and along with it, it gives the oxygen gas. Clear? So let's balance it. So it becomes 2, it becomes 2, it becomes 4. So this is the balance. Okay, so now let's do the activity for this. See, this is also the example of thermal decomposition. Okay. So here in this activity 1.6, this is related to the lead nitrate crystals. Here what we have done, we have taken the lead nitrate crystals. Okay, see, you can see the brown fumes coming out, and these brown fumes are of nitrogen dioxide. Okay, and here you will get the yellow color. Here you will get the yellow color after the reaction. After the reaction, okay, yellow lead monoxide after reaction. Okay, once the reaction is complete. After the reaction, so once reaction is complete, here you will get the yellow color, and oxygen gas along with this also come. We cannot see the oxygen gas because oxygen gas is colorless. Okay, so they ask you to write the observations in the exam. So what are the observations? The first observation is the yellow colored solid lead monoxide is found. Okay, and second thing, brown fumes of nitrogen dioxide gas is also observed. So these are the two observations that we can write. Okay, clear? So this is the activity 1.6, which is also related to the thermal decomposition. I hope this is clear to you. Okay, so now we will be in the thermal decomposition. We have taken 4 examples. One was for the calcium carbonate, second was for the potassium chlorate, third was for ferrous sulfate crystals, and fourth was for the lead nitrate. We have taken these 4 examples. We will go to the electrolytic decomposition. Okay, now the second is electrolytic decomposition. See, in the electrolytic decomposition, we are providing the electricity, energy in the form of electricity. Okay, see, decomposition reactions which take place when electric current is passed. Electric current means the electric energy. Electric current means the electric energy we are passing in the form of electricity through the compound in the molten state. This is very much important. See, we can pass electricity only either in the molten state or in the aqueous solution in case of chemical compounds. If the chemical compounds are into the solid state, okay, then we cannot pass the electricity. So they have to be either in the molten state or in the aqueous solution. Then electricity will flow and it will decompose. Okay. So let's take an example. See, when we pass the electric current through the acidified water. Acidified water means, see, in the pure water it is very difficult to pass the electricity. So we just put some acid into that, like sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid, some amount of sulfuric acid we will put into the water. Okay, so it conducts the electricity. So what it does basically, increases the conductivity. Increases conductivity of electricity. Clear? So when we pass through it, so it will decompose into hydrogen and oxygen. Very good method of making hydrogen and oxygen gas. Clear? This can be used safely. So the equation is H2O arrow. We are providing the electricity, and water is acidified. Okay. So what are we getting is hydrogen gas we are getting, and we are getting the oxygen gas also. So if we balance it, then we will put 2 here, we will put 2 here. Now it is balanced. Okay. So it is called electrolysis of water. Okay. So we have an activity based on this. So let's just understand the activity. See, in this activity, what we have done, we have taken 2 electrodes. See, this is the one electrode, this is another electrode in this activity. Okay. We have taken a beaker or plastic mug we have taken, and we have taken 2 carbon electrodes, and these 2 carbon electrodes have been connected with the battery. Okay. The anode which is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, cathode which is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. That means cathode is connected to the negative terminal, okay, and anode is connected to the positive terminal of the battery. So that means anode is a positive and cathode is a negative. Okay. Now, So we have taken water in which we have mixed some acid. Okay, clear? We have mixed some acid. Now when we have taken two test tubes, we have just inverted two test tubes and make them airtight with the rubber stopper. Okay. Now when we pass the electricity through them, so then this electricity will pass through this water. Okay, and this water in this chemical reaction will take place, means the electricity will force the water to break into the hydrogen and oxygen. So here the hydrogen gas will be formed. See, the hydrogen gas will be formed at the cathode because it has a positive ion. Okay, and the oxygen gas will be formed at anode because it is a negative ion. So the anion means negative ion which goes to the anode and the positive ion goes to the cathode. There is one more thing that you can see here. The gap is too much. See, this is the gas, and what you can see in both the test tubes, the volume of the gas in the cathode basically is double than the volume of the gas at anode. So what we can observe here, there are different observations that we can write. They ask you in the exam. Okay, so first observation is the oxygen gas at anode. Okay, hydrogen gas at cathode. This is the first observation that we will get. Second thing, the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen will be 2:1. Clear? So this is the reason at cathode the amount of gas collected is double. Okay, the amount of gas collected at anode. Okay, so you have a question in NCERT book. Okay, that question is, why is the amount of gas collected at cathode is double the amount of gas collected at anode? What is the reason? Because the gas which is collected at cathode is hydrogen and the gas which is collected at anode is oxygen, and in the water the ratio of hydrogen to oxygen, see, if you take the formula water H2O, so here we have the two atoms of the hydrogen and one atom of the oxygen. So that means by volume the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen in one molecule of water is 2:1. So this is the reason that we get the hydrogen at cathode in double volume than the oxygen at cathode in half of the volume. So this, I hope this is clear to you. So these are the observations. Okay, we have to be careful little because the electricity is being involved. So it is better not to touch the appliances from outside directly. Okay, use some insulators like chappals. Okay, clear? Now there is one more question. How will we test for this hydrogen gas? We already know that if we bring the burning matchstick, then it will burn with the pop sound. So this is how we can check the hydrogen gas. And how can we check the oxygen gas? See, oxygen gas means if we bring the burning matchstick near the oxygen gas, it will start burning more because it supports the combustion. So this is how we can check the oxygen and hydrogen gas. Clear? Now there is one more example that we will write. See, the second example, actually this electrolysis is used to extract the metals from their molten salt oxides or molten chlorides. Okay, so there also this reaction is being used. See, when we take the molten sodium chloride, as I told you, we can pass the electricity only either in the molten state or in the aqueous solution. Okay, so in this case we take the molten sodium chloride, the salt that we heat into our home. Okay, when we heat till more than 500-600 degrees Celsius, then it starts melting because its melting point is very high. Okay, so when we take the sodium chloride into the liquid form, okay, like NaCl, we take in the liquid form, it is molten. Okay, and when we pass electricity through it, we just make the same apparatus as we have done. Okay, or actually when we do it in the industry, because it is an industrial application, then there are very huge there are huge setups basically. So when we pass electricity through them, then we get the sodium metal, okay, and plus chlorine gas also we get. Okay, this is the sodium metal and this is the chlorine gas. Okay, See, both have different uses. This we will study into the next chapter, acid, base, and salts. Okay. Why don't we take the aqueous solution? Because in the aqueous solution, the sodium which is formed will react with the water. So we will not get the sodium metal. Okay. So to get the sodium metal, we will take the molten sodium chloride. Now third example. See, when we pass electric current through the molten aluminum oxide. See that this reaction is also used into the extraction of metal from their ore, which is the aluminum oxide. Okay. So when we first we have to melt this aluminum oxide. Okay. And when this this molten aluminum oxide, when we pass the electricity, then it gives us the aluminum metal, and oxygen gas is also formed. So formula of aluminum oxide is Al2O3. Okay. This is liquid which is molten. Okay. When we pass electricity through it, then we get the aluminium, and plus oxygen gas is also formed. So this comes in the solid form, this is in the gaseous form. This is aluminium metal and this is the oxygen gas. Okay, so this reaction is also used to extract the aluminium from their ores. So this also has got the commercial application or industrial application. Okay, C is photolytic decomposition, or we can say that photo decomposition. Photo decomposition means, photo means sunlight. So here the energy is being provided in the form of sunlight. So the photo means sunlight. Clear? Is decomposition by absorption of sunlight. See what happens in this, basically in this kind of decomposition. If we take a compound, just put it into the sunlight, then it will start decomposing. Okay, and will form the different compounds. So this is called the photolytic decomposition. The example for this is the decomposition of silver chloride. Okay, see what happens basically when we put the silver chloride, okay, into the, this is has the white color, into the sunlight. Okay, so what happens basically, it breaks into silver and chlorine gas. It makes the silver which is grayish color. Okay, and this gives the chlorine which is the yellowish fume. Okay, yellowish green gas. Okay, so when we put the silver chloride into the sunlight, then it will give the silver and chlorine gas. This is how the reaction takes place. So we have its use in the black and white photography. Used in black and white photography. I think most of you might have not seen the black and white photographs, because these black and white photographs have been obsolete for around 25 to 30 years. Okay, even when we were into the class 12, the class means in the graduation, then the colored photos had come. Okay, so this black and white photography nowadays we do not find, but at that time, around 20 years, 25 years back, this compound was used to develop the photographs. How did they used to do? They used to have some solution of the silver chloride or silver bromide. Okay, they used to have the dark rooms, we used to have the negatives. Okay, and they used to have the paper on which they get the print from the negatives, from the film. Okay, with the help of the silver chloride, and they used to keep that photo paper into the sunlight. So by the action of the sunlight, so wherever the face was there, according to the whiteness, that portion will remain white, and the portion which was colored, that portion will become grayish, because the silver will get deposited on this. And because of this, those photos were costly also at that time. Okay, now they are cheaper, because now we can make them into bulk, even we can print them at home colored. Okay, see, this is the activity 1.8 which is given in the NCERT book. Here we have taken the 2 gram silver chloride in a china dish. Okay, this is the china dish. This one we have taken the silver chloride which is white or grey in color, and we have provided the sunlight for some time, and after this becomes grey because of the formation of, see, this portion will become grey due to the formation of the silver. Okay, so this is how the photo decomposition reaction takes place. And this yellow color, yellowish green color, the chlorine will pass away into the atmosphere. So actually in exams you can get the same diagram and they will ask you to answer what kind of reaction is taking place and write the chemical reaction. So we can write the above reaction which is written above, which I just told you above, and we can write the photolytic decomposition and can define it. Okay, and what are the observations that we are looking here is it turns gray in sunlight. This is the observation that we will. Okay, and what is the reason? Due to the decomposition of silver chloride, which is called the photo decomposition. Is it clear or not? I hope this must be clear to you. Now there is one more example. The second example, silver bromide. Okay, see, when we take a silver bromide, similarly when we keep them into the sunlight, okay, then again it will also convert into the silver and bromine gas. Okay, in gaseous form it will go out, so it will be a red brown in color. This is silver, okay, which is gray in color, and this is silver bromide, which is pale yellow in color. Okay, so this also used in the black and white photography. Okay, clear? So students, today we have studied about the thermal decomposition, electrolytic decomposition and photo decomposition, and now we will study the applications of these reactions. Okay, see, first application, as I told you, that to extract the various metals. Okay, so electrolytic decomposition is in the extraction of metals. Okay, so we use these reactions to extract the metal, like sodium. From sodium chloride we extract the sodium, like from magnesium chloride we extract the magnesium, like from aluminum oxide we extract the aluminum. Okay, now the second, see, we use the quicklime from the limestone. We use the same reaction that we see in the first example, and this quicklime is used into the like whitewash, like in the cement industry. Okay, so we are using to form the quicklime, and this quicklime is used into the whitewashing, like as we have discussed into the other videos, and into the cement industry. So in cement it is a very good ingredient to get the to make the cement tighter. Okay, to make the better grade. Okay, to solidify, as we discussed into the thermal decomposition. Okay, the second example, we use the potassium chlorate, we heat that and oxygen gas is formed. That is the laboratory method of preparing the oxygen gas. So we use these reactions to prepare the oxygen gas into the laboratory. Okay, as we just discussed about that silver chloride and silver bromide. Okay, when they decompose, they form the silver, which is gray in color, so which we use into the black and white photography. So this is also one of the use of the decomposition reaction. See, when the food is digested into our body, several decomposition reactions are taking place in the presence of enzymes. Like we eat the carbohydrates. Okay, these carbohydrates after digestion decompose into the glucose, the simpler substance. Okay, this is the complex substance, this is the simple substance, and like fats, they convert into the fatty acids and glycerols. So this is complex substance, this is the simple substance, and the proteins converts into amino acids. Amino acids are simpler substances. So these are the different composition reactions through which the whatever we are eating, the ingredient of those are converted into the simpler substances which can be used by body. Okay, the next is, see, whenever we are throwing the garbage, so the decomposition takes place. So in that place also the decomposition reactions are being taken place. Okay, see, whenever the plants die, whenever the animals die, they get decomposed. How do they get decomposed? Because the bacteria which are present into the soil or in the atmosphere, they just start acting on them, and when they start acting on them, then they, in the presence of some enzymes, they convert the complex substances which are present into the plant and animals into the simpler substances. Okay, and they provide the ammonia, they provide the nitrogen, and they provide different substances. Some of them goes into the soil, some of them goes into the atmosphere. So the foul smell that we get near the garbage, okay, heap, is that of ammonia, because the decomposition is being taking place. So this decomposition takes place all around us, even in our home. Suppose if we keep the garbage for one day, then it will start decomposing, okay, because bacteria are present everywhere. Okay, so let's recap. First we have done what are the decomposition reactions, then we did about the thermal decomposition, we did about the electrolytic decomposition, and we did about the photolytic decomposition. We got the examples. And what are the different applications that we have already discussed into the different parts also. See, the first, electrolytic decomposition, that we use to extract the metals from their chloride oxides. Okay, like thermal decomposition, we use the quicklime from the limestone, which is a very necessary ingredient of the cement industry. And if you want to prepare the oxygen gas, then also we use the thermal decomposition of the potassium chloride. And then if you to use into the black and white photography, we use the photo decomposition reactions of the silver chloride and silver bromide. And whatever we are eating or some other animal is eating, the digestion which is taking place inside the body is also the decomposition reaction, because from the complex substances we get the several molecules of the simpler substances. Okay, and same the decomposition of the dead remains and plants is also the decomposition reaction. Okay, so students, today we have done about the decomposition reactions. Okay, so I hope you must have understood these reactions. So dear students, in the next video we will take some examples, some questions on the decomposition reactions, and the displacement reactions we will do in the next video. So thank you so much for watching. Write your comments about the video, any query, doubt about the topic in the comment box, or you can write to me on the email or WhatsApp. I have given into the description box. Okay, and if you want to do the live online classes, then also you can write to me on the WhatsApp or email. We will be happy to serve you. And if you want the free notes, then you can also write to me on the WhatsApp or email. Students, I hope you must be enjoying the videos. Kindly share it with your friends, like it, subscribe it, share it. Thank you so much.